The park was supposed to be peaceful, until Karen stood on that bench and tried to ban military uniforms in public. She didn't know the man in uniform was a veteran, or that he was carrying a folded flag for 3 fallen brothers. She didn't know her fight for community peace was about to become a national outrage, and she definitely didn't expect a quiet old war hero to change everything. This isn't just a story about a uniform. It's about sacrifice, defiance, and what happens when one man stands up for honor against the noise.
Karen banned military uniforms in public, didn't know the vet was honoring fallen comrades. The park was alive with the hum of a warm Saturday afternoon, children laughing, dogs barking, and the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. But the air grew thick with tension when Karen, the self-appointed guardian of Willow Creek's community standards, stepped onto a wooden bench, her voice cutting through the crowd like a blade. "No military uniforms in public spaces," she declared, her eyes scanning the park with righteous fury. "They're a trigger, a symbol of violence. This is a peaceful town." Her words, sharp and unyielding, stunned the onlookers. Karen, known for her relentless campaigns, banning loud music, enforcing leash laws, had found her new crusade. At the edge of the crowd stood
James, a 27-year-old veteran, his army dress uniform pressed to perfection. He wasn't here to make a statement. Today was the anniversary of the day his squad lost 3 members in a desert ambush. The folded flag under his arm, pristine and heavy with memory, was for them. He'd come to the park's modest war memorial to lay it down, a quiet act of honor. But Karen's voice found him like a spotlight. "You," she pointed, her finger trembling with conviction. "Take that uniform off. It's disrespectful to our community's values." James froze, his jaw tightening. The crowd murmured, some nodding in agreement with Karen, others shifting uncomfortably. A teenage girl, Mia, filming on her phone, whispered to her friend, "This is going to go viral." James's eyes met Karen's, his voice low but steady. "Ma'am, this uniform isn't about violence. It's about sacrifice." Karen scoffed, undeterred. "Sacrifice? You're glorifying war in a family park. Remove it now or I'll call the police." The crowd's murmurs grew louder, splitting into factions, some shouting support for Karen's peaceful vision, others rallying behind James. The tension escalated when Karen, emboldened by a few cheers, stepped closer, her phone already dialing the local precinct. James didn't move, his boots rooted to the ground, the flag clutched tighter. "I'm here for my brothers," he said, his voice cracking just enough to betray the pain beneath his calm. "They didn't come home. I did. This is for them." Karen's face hardened. "Your brothers aren't my problem. This park is." The crowd gasped, and Mia's camera zoomed in, capturing the raw cruelty of the moment. Then came the twist. A frail, elderly man, leaning on a cane, pushed through the crowd. His name was Mr. Thompson, a reclusive Korean War veteran who rarely spoke to anyone. His weathered face was etched with grief, and his voice trembled as he spoke. "Karen, you don't know what you're doing. That boy's uniform is not a costume. It's a promise kept." He turned to James, his eyes glistening. "My son wore that same uniform. He never came back either." The crowd fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Karen's certainty wavered, her phone lowering slightly. But Karen wasn't one to back down. "This isn't about your son, Mr. Thompson. It's about rules," she snapped, though her voice lacked its earlier fire. The crowd erupted, some yelling at Karen to stop, others defending her right to speak. James, still holding the flag, took a step toward the memorial, ignoring Karen's protests. "I'm laying this down for them," he said, his voice now a quiet roar. "You can't ban their memory." The police arrived, 2 officers stepping into the fray. Karen demanded James's removal, but the officers, one a veteran himself, hesitated. They listened as explained, his words steady but heavy with emotion. The crowd, now a mix of tears and anger, watched as he knelt at the memorial, placing the flag gently on the stone. Mr. Thompson joined him, placing a trembling hand on James's shoulder. Mia's video captured it all: the flag, the men, the crowd, and Karen's stunned silence. Karen's crusade crumbled. The officers, seeing no crime, turned to her. "Ma'am, you can't ban free expression," one said. The crowd cheered, but James didn't. He stood, saluted the memorial,
and walked away, his uniform still on, his mission complete. Karen, left on her bench, watched the crowd disperse, her face a mix of defiance and doubt. Mia's video uploaded that night exploded online, sparking debates about freedom, respect, and community. The next day, the park was quiet again, but the wooden signpost near the memorial bore new graffiti: honor, not hate. Karen never returned to enforce her rule. James, though, came back every year, his uniform a silent tribute. Mr. Thompson joined him when he could, their shared grief a bond stronger than any rule. The town learned, but the scars of that day linger, a reminder of how quickly judgment can divide and how sacrifice can unite. What do you think? Where does the line fall between community rules and personal freedom? Share your thoughts. Karen never came back to the park after that day. Maybe it was the public backlash. Maybe it was the silence that met her every time someone mentioned the video. But James, he returned. Every year, same day, same uniform, same folded flag. He never said much. He didn't need to. Mr. Thompson was always there beside him, hand on his shoulder, 2 generations bound by grief and pride. The wooden bench Karen once stood on, it now bore a small plaque someone had nailed in quietly, without permission, in honor of those who served and those who stood up for them. The town learned that day that rules can be written in ink, but respect is carved in sacrifice. So the next time someone tells you to sit down, to stay quiet, or to forget, ask yourself, are you honoring comfort or courage? Because sometimes one uniform, one folded flag, and one stand of defiance can change everything.